Today, Prime Minister Olmert shared with me some of his ideas. I would call them bold ideas. These ideas could lead to a two-state solution if a pathway to progress on the roadmap is not open in the period ahead. His ideas include the removal of most Israeli settlements except for the major Israeli population centers in the West Bank. This idea would follow Prime Minister Sharon's decision to remove all settlements in Gaza and several in the West Bank. I look forward to learning more about the Prime Minister's ideas. While any final status agreement will be only achieved on the basis of mutually agreed changes, and no party should prejudice the outcome of negotiations on a final status agreement, the Prime Minister's ideas could be an important step toward the peace we both support. And one of the interesting issues that the Iranians have tossed out in this debate is that they believe they have the sovereign right for civilian nuclear power. And my position has been fine, just you just don't get to enrich the fuel necessary for the plant. And so we provided, I thought, a very interesting opportunity for them to say, if you want civilian nuclear power, you can have your plant, and the international consortium will provide the fuel for the plant, and we'll pick up the spent fuel from the plant. And this very realistic and reasonable approach has been rejected by the Iranians. And so I say to our friends in our consortium, I'm not so sure these people really do want a solution. And commanders, we haven't gotten to the point yet where the new government is sitting down with our commanders to come up with a joint way forward. However, having said that, this is a new chapter in our relationship. In other words, we're now able to take a new assessment about the needs necessary for the Iraqis. Achieving peace demands action from all parties. Israel must continue to work with Palestinian leaders to help improve the daily lives of Palestinians. At the same time, Israel should not undertake any activity that contravenes its roadmap obligations or prejudices the final status negotiations with regard to Gaza, the West Bank, and Jerusalem. This means that Israel must remove unauthorized posts and stop settlement expansion. It also means that the barrier now being built to protect Israelis from terrorist attacks must be a security barrier rather than a political barrier. Israeli withdrawal creates new opportunities, creates responsibilities for the Palestinian people. The way forward must begin by confronting the threat that armed gangs pose to a genuinely democratic Palestine. And those armed gangs must confront the threat that armed gangs pose to lasting peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. I want to thank President Abbas for his hard work. I appreciate your service, Mr. President. I assured him that the United States will use our influence to help realize a shared vision of two democratic states, Israel and Palestine, living side by side in peace and security. Welcome.
Shukran.
Sir.
What else?
Yeah, Mr. Prime Minister, welcome. It's an honor to have you back in the Oval Office. Thanks for coming to the Annapolis Conference. I'm looking forward to continuing our serious dialogue with you and President of the Palestinian Authority to see whether or not peace is possible. I'm optimistic. I know you're optimistic, and I want to thank you for your courage and your friendship. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Sir. Bring peace to the Holy Land. You have done a lot of important and hard work in helping the region understand the importance of two states living side by side in peace. No question this is a hard challenge, but nevertheless, people must recognize that we have made
a good deal of progress, and a lot of it has to do with your leadership, and I thank you. I was pleased to note that the UN Security Council passed a resolution which confirms that the bilateral negotiation process is irreversible, and it's a path to a Palestinian state and a path to peace in the Middle East. And I've been looking forward to this visit. I'm looking forward to getting a briefing on not only the negotiations and discussions you've had with Israel, but also the fine progress that's being made on the West Bank, which is a credit to your leadership and the leadership of the Prime Minister. So welcome. Hamas's objective, stated objective, is the destruction of the State of Israel. And therefore the United States will stand strongly with Israel, as well as stand strongly with the Palestinians who don't share that vision. We believe that the surest way to defeat the enemies of hatred is to advance the cause of hope through the cause of freedom, liberty as the great alternative to tyranny and terror. Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for inviting me to speak at the Knesset tomorrow. I hear it's a place of many a sharp elbow. I'm looking forward to giving my speech. I'm not going to be throwing any elbows. But I will talk about the day when I believe every child in the Middle East can live in peace and live in freedom. I assured the President that a Palestinian state's a high priority for me and my administration. A viable state, a state that doesn't look like Swiss cheese, a state that provides hope. It's in, I believe it's in Israel's interest and the Palestinian people's interest to have leaders willing to work toward the achievement of that state. The people that can deliver that state, that vision, to the Palestinian people, we're sitting right here in the Oval Office led by the President. The President's a man of peace. He's a man of vision. He rejects the idea of using violence to achieve objectives, which distinguishes him from other people in the region. I'm confident we can achieve the definition of a state. I'm also confident it's going to require hard work. We're all going to do more to build the conditions for peace, so I will call together an international meeting this fall of representatives from nations that support a two-state solution, reject violence, recognize Israel's right to exist, and commit to all previous agreements between the parties. The key participants in this meeting will be the Israelis, the Palestinians, and their neighbors in the region. Secretary Rice will chair the meeting. She and her counterparts will review the progress that has been made toward building Palestinian institutions. This is a moment of clarity for all Palestinians. And now comes a moment of choice.
The alternatives before the Palestinian people are stark. There is the vision of Hamas, which the world saw in Gaza, with murders in black masks and summary executions and men thrown to their death from rooftops. By following this path, the Palestinian people would guarantee chaos and suffering and the endless perpetuation of grievance. They would surrender their future to Hamas's foreign sponsors in Syria and Iran. And they would crush the possibility of a Palestinian state. There's another option, and that's a hopeful option. It is the vision of President Abbas and Prime Minister Fayyad. It's the vision of their government. It's the vision of a peaceful state called Palestine as a homeland for the Palestinian people. Israel has a clear path. Prime Minister Olmert must continue to release Palestinian tax revenues to the government of Prime Minister Fayyad. Prime Minister Olmert has also made clear that Israel's future lies in developing areas like the Negev and Galilee, not in continuing occupation of the West Bank. This is a reality that Prime Minister Sharon recognized as well.